Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to a build video. Now the build that we're going to be doing today is for my Super Sim challenge, so if you've not been watching that series I would highly recommend you go and watch it. But it is a little bit of a scuffed, it's a bit of a scuffed speed build. One, because I actually didn't plan on uploading it to YouTube. I built this live on my Twitch channel last week, I think it was. And I didn't have the intention of uploading it to YouTube, but a few of you were saying that you would want to see it. Somebody was in my Twitch chat the other day asking if I'm going to upload it as a speed build. So I thought, here we go. So it is a little bit scuffed, but hopefully you don't mind about that. Normally when I do a speed build, I think of like the angles and like the order in which I build things, just so it's a little bit better of a format for you lot, but ignore that. I've also got a cup of tea, so I am going to be sipping on that throughout this video, so maybe pause and get yourself a cuppa, tea, coffee, whatever floats your boat if you haven't got one already. But for this particular build, I wanted to do something that I could see an artist living in. So if you're not caught up with my Super Sim, so our main character, our Super Sim, if you don't know what the Super Sim challenge is, first and foremost, it's essentially a challenge where you have to do everything in the game. So you have to complete all of the aspirations, you have to get to the top of all the careers, max out all the skills, all the milestones that came with, is it Growing Together that milestones came with? You have to do every single one for, well, we actually did the infant, toddler, child, teenager, and now adult. So it's basically doing everything. If you want to do the collections, you can do that too. There's so much to it. So that's kind of the premise of Super Sim. And where our Super Sim character is at right now is they've just graduated from uni for the first time, their first ever degree, and she did art history degree. So smashed it, got A+, brilliant. And what that means is it puts her at the, like, pretty much near the top of certain careers. So I think it's the painter, style influencer, and there was one other that she is like level 8 or level 7 at. They go into it in an advanced way, which is really good for the Super Sim challenge where you've got to do everything. So now that she's out of uni, I basically wanted to make a house for her as an artist, to be focusing on art and a bit of an escape as well from the uni life that she has been living. It's really full on, like university is quite full on. I mean, I know it's quite full on. I graduated 6 years ago now, which is wild to say. But anyway, so university in Sims in particular is quite full on because everybody is everywhere. So you're living with roommates and like some of them are up partying till 4 in the morning. And to be fair, you don't have to live on campus. So I was actually thinking we've got to do all of the other degrees as well. And when we get to those, actually the way that I'm going to do it is so she's done a degree, we're then going to do all of the careers that are boosted by that degree, and then we're going to go back to uni and do the next degree and do all the careers that are boosted by that one, and so on and so forth, just so it gives a little bit of a break up between doing degrees, doing jobs, because going non-stop to uni would be full on and it would probably get quite boring because you're watching the same thing, it gets repetitive. So I thought I'd kind of break it up with jobs and uni and whatnot. So this is kind of her era at the moment, being an artist. In the latest episode, if you've not watched that, because I'm going to upload this I think after I actually move her into this build. So in the latest episode, she has adopted 3 pets. She went down into Brindleton Bay and adopted some strays. So that's super exciting. I kind of couldn't resist. And you know what? Not only is adopting strays a good thing to do, and it's cute to have pets in the household, but also it can help towards aspiration. So there's I can't remember the name of it now. It's Friend of the Animals, I think it's called, where it's like interacting with different dogs, different cats and blah, blah, blah. So technically I needed to do it for the aspiration. So, you know, with this challenge as well, I've tried to make it like less repetitive. So it's a grindy challenge, and I'm one of those people where I love like story gameplay. So I love legacy challenges. I love doing my Sims in Bloom at the minute because there's kind of set things that you need to be doing. So each generation has things that they obviously have to do for like to complete their gen. And I love, like, is it goal-based gameplay where you're aiming for things? Whereas with Super Sim, because you've got to do everything, I wanted to do the challenge, but in the back of my mind I was like, it's going to be really hard to do a story kind of gameplay with it because the sim has to do everything. But do you know what, we have actually managed to create some sort of a story with it as well as trying to be grindy and getting all the different things that we need to do for the Super Sim. I've managed to incorporate a bit of storytelling into it as well, and I do intend to do that throughout Super Sim. So she's going to go through so many like stages of her life, you know. She's got to be a criminal, for example, at some stage. She's going to have to be like do fishing, everything. And then obviously when we get new packs as well, so recently Adventure Awaits has like been announced in the last kind of week. So when we get new packs, it then adds even more like milestones, careers, aspirations, skills that our Super Sim is going to max. So I guess this is like a never-ending challenge with constant goals and constant things that you have to be doing. But for me, it is really important that I do get an element of storytelling into it. So it's not just, oh, now my Super Sim's doing this and now they're doing that. Whereas I like adding stories behind it. And I did have a couple of people comment on, I think, my early Super Sim episodes, where people were like, why are you getting her to have a boyfriend? Or why are you making her do this? And why are you focusing on what her sisters are doing? Why don't you just do the Super Sim and complete this and complete that? And the reason like that I don't want to just focus, I'd get bored, I think. I would get bored if I don't have a bit of story behind it, because that's what I enjoy doing, and I'm going to do what I enjoy doing. I know people, you know, maybe that are watching the Super Sim want to see just the things that need to be done, but for me, this is how I play the game. So, you know, I want to play it how I would normally play it. Otherwise, I'm just not going to enjoy it. But for this house, I liked the idea. I was looking on Pinterest at like houses for an artist and like just get an inspo of kind of what I wanted to do. And I liked the idea that she has lived in the city. So actually, before she went to university, she lived in San Myshuno, and she lived in an apartment in the city. She'd just moved out from her parents' house. She was living with 2 roommates, literally in the big city. She then obviously went straight into uni, and she was living in dorms, again, in kind of like an apartment-esque. Well, it was an apartment, I suppose. Just university dorms. So it's been a long time, and even when she was living at her parents, they actually didn't have much of a garden, to be honest. So it's been a long time since she's been able to kind of be out in nature, and I guess this is her first time really living somewhere where she can be out in nature. And, you know, for a painter as well, I thought it would be a nice idea. One, because I wanted to make sure that her house was a tiny home and that it was in the vicinity of getting double skills boosted. So there's obviously the 3 tiers. And I think if you go to the 3rd tier, you don't get the double skills. There's other perks, less perks than tier 1 and tier 2, but you just don't get the skills boosted. And for me, that was like the one thing that I kind of wanted from the tiny home. So with her having a tiny home, I thought it would maybe be better to save space and put the easel outside. So that's why I kind of added this little pond area, had a little deck in, and put the easel on the end of the deck, because I kind of had visions of her doing her painting out on the deck, you know, the ducks in the pond. And then I envisioned her having like a dog, and the dog comes out and like curls up on the deck next to her while she's doing her painting. So I had like a vision in mind when I was building this. I also did some planters as well for her to maybe work on her gardening, which she did work on a little bit when we were living in San Myshuno, because she had no money. She couldn't work jobs when she was doing after school activities as a teenager. It was all a bit up in the air. So I ended up getting a money tree for when she was living there. So she has done a little bit of gardening, but I thought if we want to work on that a little bit more, I think there's a gardening aspiration, correct me if I'm wrong. So when we're going to do that, and eventually obviously the gardening career, then she's got a bit of a space to do that. And I kind of also thought that with this build, I don't know how long we'll be here for, but I want to reap the benefits. Is that the right phrase? Reap the benefits of the tiny home, I guess, for as long as we possibly can. So for now, she's going to be focusing on being an artist, being a stylist, I think, for the different careers. And then I think once she does the 3 careers that come with the art history degree that go hand in hand, she's then going to go back to university. And the way that I'm doing it is alphabetically. So I then think that the next degree that she's going to do is biology, which what I'm planning on doing is decorating the house in relation to the different like degrees and the different jobs that she's then focused on. So yeah, this house is probably, we're going to see it maybe go through plenty of different changes. And I just like to play things by ear as well. I like to kind of see how I'm feeling, you know, if I want her to move somewhere else and I get bored of where she's like living at that moment in time, then so be it. So I don't know actually how long we'll be here, but we'll just kind of play it by ear and go from there. Obviously, if you have been watching the series as well, then you'll know that Cara, before she went to uni and also while she was at uni, got quite a bit of money from the money tree. So if you've watched the latest episode, then you'll see that we did actually reset her money back down to, I think it was like 2.5k, because the money tree was great and it worked for while we didn't have a job. But now that she's in a position where she is able to work and earn money, things are different. So we have no money tree now. We don't have our 100k. But do you know what? We ticked off some of the money aspiration through doing that. So I guess things worked out pretty well. I'm also excited for like the idea of Cara to eventually, although to be fair, I'm not thinking about doing it anytime soon, but I'm excited for the concept and the idea of her eventually like having kids and like getting married. And do you know what? Because she has to do everything, I reckon she's going to go through so many marriages. Like, we've got to do the villainous Valentine aspiration. We've got to break couples up. I think there's an aspiration where you need to cheat on your partner. Correct me if I'm wrong. So she's going to go through so many different stages in life, so many different marriages, lots of heartbreak, lots of love. Kids growing up and the kids probably dying before she does. She has to be all of the occults as well, which obviously a vampire occult, I think they don't age, do they? So we're gonna have to do that at some point, and think about different ways to keep her alive so that she can complete everything. So it's going to be quite a challenge. And you know what? I have actually been really enjoying it. I've been enjoying doing various... She's going to have to live in different worlds as well. Like, I'm sure we'll have to live in Solani at some point, vacation in Selvadorada to do that aspiration and maybe the different skills that come with that. So we're really going to be going on a right old adventure with Cara, with our super sim. And hopefully you lot are enjoying the journey or going along with the journey with me. So when it came to the inside of the build as well, I wanted to squeeze as much as we could while also decorating with some different colours. I was trying to envision, again, I'm not an artist, so I was like trying to envision what an artist's home would look like what kind of clutter would they have, you know, like paintbrushes, art books, art supplies, all sorts of different things basically, like what kind of wallpaper would an artist put into their home. Because I think sometimes when I build, I kind of maybe think more generically, like, oh, how do I want to do this build? What kind of design do I want to do? Whereas I was really trying to put myself into the shoes of an artist and build like how, you know, like envision an artist here, you know? So I went for like different colour schemes throughout as well. So in the bathroom, I went for kind of a green and like gold bronze theme. In the main like living area, it was kind of like mainly blue with like a pop of green, and then the bedroom was yellow. And there's obviously the artist bedroom, the Van Gogh bed. So I thought I've got to use that, you know. Maybe it's a bit cliche, but I thought I had to use it. As you can tell here as well, I really was bopping here, there and everywhere. As you can tell in parts of the video too, I was really like bopping here, there and everywhere. And that's because, like I said earlier, I didn't intend for this to be posted on YouTube. I was just doing it on Twitch as a generic build, but you lot asked for it, so I'm posting it. So apologies for the camera and my building just being all over the place. If you ever do want to check out my Twitch streams, by the way, I stream every weekday apart from Wednesday at 1 PM UK time. And the reason I'm saying UK time is because we're in British summertime at the minute, but obviously the clocks will be going back next month, I think, to GMT. So yeah, 1 PM UK time is when I stream over on Twitch. So if you ever want to catch those streams, feel free to come over, you're always welcome. But hopefully you lot have enjoyed watching the Super Sim house come to life, being built, seeing, I guess, the vision that I had for the build come to life. Let me know if you have enjoyed it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to give me all of your Super Sim tips as well down in the comment section below. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel too so that you never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Taz out.